This is Ringler Radio, where you get all the latest news and information about settlement solutions, litigation, mediation, and structured financial security from Ringler, the largest and most experienced company of settlement consultants in the United States. Ringler has been helping injured people and their families since 1975. Ringler Radio is made possible in part by American General, Liberty Mutual, MetLife, Mutual of Omaha, New York Life, Pacific Life, and Prudential. Now join Ringler Radio host Larry Cohen.
Well, hello and welcome to Ringler Radio, everyone. I'm Larry Cohen, head of Ringler's Northeast Operations, and we're certainly glad you could join us again today. Well, at least once a year on Ringler Radio, we like to spotlight the National Structured Settlement Trade Association, better known as NSSTA, and discuss its mission of advocating for the financial security of both injured individuals and their families. While that core mission remains solid bedrock, the methods and tools to accomplish it continue to evolve. And today we're pleased to be speaking with the newly installed NSSTA President, Michelle Caine, to discuss the industry's evolution and NSSTA's important role in protecting its core mission. But before saying hello to Michelle, I'd like to welcome Ringler's President and CEO, Geoff Hunt, who will be joining in today's conversation. So thanks for being here, Geoff, as co-host. Welcome to Ringler Radio.
Always a pleasure to join you on Ringler Radio, Larry.
Terrific, Geoff. Thank you. Now let me introduce our special guest, Michelle Caine, the president of NSSTA. Unlike many of NSSTA's past presidents, Michelle doesn't come from the broker consultant side of the industry. She's from the life industry, serving as Director of Relationship Management at Prudential Financial. Michelle was installed as president of NSSTA just a few weeks ago during the 2019 annual meeting and becomes only the second woman to hold a top leadership role at NSSTA. So with that, congratulations, Michelle, and welcome to Ringler Radio.
Thanks, Larry. I'm glad to be here with you today.
Terrific. Michelle, some of our listeners here on Ringler Radio might have heard about NSSTA. Most of them, I'm sure, have heard about NSSTA. However, for those who may not know exactly what it does, why don't you give us an overview of the organization and who its members are?
Sure, absolutely. So NSSTA was founded in 1985 and is considered by most to be the leading voice of the structured settlements industry. NSSTA's mission, as you talked about, is to promote the growth, establishment, and preservation of structured settlements so that physical injury claimants and their families can have long-term financial security. As far as its membership, NSSTA's members include structured settlement consultants, life insurance industry leaders like myself, property and casualty company claims officials, attorneys, and others from across the United States as well as Canada.
Michelle, as the new president, our trade association has a nice tradition of having a transition from one president and knowing who the next newly installed president will be. So those one-year terms have a nice consistency and flow to them with each new installed president. But having said that, every president does have their own stamp that they want to put on and their own objectives. So what's on your agenda for during your term as the objectives, the things that you'd like to see our trade association focus on and get accomplished?
Sure. So I just spoke about our mission, and I believe that raising the awareness and educating on the benefits of structured settlements is really a key component of that mission, and it's going to be critical to our future success. So for that reason, I decided that the association's focus for the next year should be on education, and that is going to be done with the goal of helping us to raise awareness with key influencers such as attorneys and claims professionals.
Well, Michelle, you talked about raising awareness about the benefits of structured settlements with quite a few folks, attorneys and claims professionals and the public, et cetera. But if you were speaking to one of those audiences face-to-face, almost like the elevator conversation, what would you be telling them about the benefits of structured settlements?
Sure. I would say a structured settlement provides the claimant with a series of tax-free guaranteed payments that are tailored to meet the current and future needs of the claimant and their family. The payments are going to be funded by an annuity, which is issued by a highly rated life insurance company. And one thing that's important when you're investing for plaintiffs who have suffered a loss is that a structured settlement is going to provide them with tremendous peace of mind. The payments are actually fixed at the time of settlement, and they have a locked-in rate of return. which means the claimant is not going to have to worry about changing market conditions affecting the payments. Also, unlike other investments, they're not going to have ongoing management fees. And finally, I'd say a structured settlement can also protect the claimant from spending the funds too quickly and help ensure that the money is there when they need it. And also with proper planning, it can be established within a trust to help a claimant preserve their public benefits.
Terrific. I think you made me want to buy one. I think I want to go out and buy one now. Terrific.
Yeah. So, Michelle, you've just recounted all the benefits. And one of the hallmarks in our industry, and I've only been in there 4 years, but to me it's been how often people relay the personal stories. So it's not just a product, it's not just a profession. We're truly out there trying to help people who have encountered a really traumatic event, either to themselves or to their family. And so from your perspective on the life company side, can you relay a situation where you saw exactly how it helped relieve some of the stress and the pain and the suffering and the financial hardship that they encountered with utilizing a structured settlement?
Sure. And obviously, as you mentioned, in my role at a life company, I don't have the opportunity to interact frequently with claimants as a structured settlement consultant would have. But at my company's website, we actually share a video about one of our claimants. Her name is Kim. And I think she's a great example of how beneficial a structured settlement can be. So let me tell you a little bit about Kim. Back in 2002, she was involved in a motor vehicle accident. She was T-boned as she drove into an intersection. Her injuries were very severe, and she was taken to the hospital. And while she was at the hospital, the doctors had given her some medicine that was supposed to help treat her injuries, but she ended up reacting severely to it, and as a result, she lost her eyesight. So then, to make matters worse, 30 days after she went blind, her husband lost his job. So Kim was really worried initially about being able to cover her medical expenses. But fortunately, Kim's attorney told her about a structured settlement, and they worked with a consultant to design a plan that could meet not only her current medical expense needs, but also the future needs of her family. And she says in the video, the settlement gave her more than peace of mind, and that she couldn't even imagine the position that they would have been in without the structured settlement.
That's
terrific.
Yeah, we've heard stories like that from so many individuals that have benefited from structures. And of course, the disability industry, the people who really deal with the disabled have told us for years how structured settlements have been the godsend to their clients and to the people that they service. And they've been a huge supporter of structured settlements as well. But let's talk a little bit about the process. It's interesting. Attorneys are really the lifeblood of this industry because they're the gatekeepers. They're the ones that oftentimes introduce their clients, if they're plaintiff attorneys, to the concept of structures and how they react to the introduction of a structure in a settlement conference or a mediation often impacts how the client or the claimant themselves react. And of course, you have defense attorneys who oftentimes are focused so strongly on the defense of a case, aren't really that focused on introducing structures as a potential way to solve a problem. So how important is it for you to get that education out to the whole attorney society out there, both plaintiff and defendant, so that we can have more of an embracing of structures as we move through the process?
Yeah, I think it falls on two things. One, education, and two, influence. So I would start by saying we learned from an American General study that was done a few years back that when an individual is educated on the benefits of a structured settlement, they're going to be more likely to take the structured settlement over the lump sum payment. So that's where the education comes in. Second, Prudential did a study a few years later that told us that the plaintiff attorneys are the most influential person in the claimant's decision-making process. And like you were saying, Larry, the majority of the claimants first heard about the structured settlements through their attorneys. So they have tremendous influence over these claimants, and it's really important that they're the ones that are first introducing the concept to them. And then, more importantly, they need to reach out to a structured settlement consultant early on in the settlement process so that that consultant can meet with the claimant and help identify what the needs are for the claimant and their family, and then design a plan that's going to meet those needs. And then I would say if an attorney doesn't have a structured settlement consultant that they work with on a regular basis, they should visit NSSTA's website, and it's www.nsssta.com to find a consultant in their area.
You know, it's interesting. I had a case once where the plaintiff attorney was very, very positive about structures and tried to convince his client to take the structure at the end of a case. And the client refused. And the attorney said to me, interestingly, he said to me, you know, my client trusted me to get him a huge settlement in this case. But when it came to, you know, what to do with the money, he listened to his brother-in-law, who's a guy that owns an auto body shop. I mean, he went the opposite direction of what rational thought might have led him. So oftentimes attorneys try hard, and even they can't make the claimant see the light. But it's an interesting process we all go through. So let's take a quick break right now, and we'll be right back here in a minute, right here on Ringler Radio with Michelle Caine and Geoff Hunt. We'll be right back.
This is Ringler Radio, brought to you from Ringler, the nation's leading provider of fair settlement solutions. Did you know that Ringler is involved in a third of all structured settlement cases in the country? Ringler advisors work with all the parties in a lawsuit settlement to find the best possible financial solution for the people involved. Everybody wins. There's a Ringler consultant in all the major cities of the U.S. No one has more experienced experts in the settlement business than Ringler. Check out our website at www.ringlerassociates.com for the best information for injured parties, attorneys, and claims professionals to find the Ringler advisor nearest you. When it's your interests at stake in a lawsuit settlement, you want only the best, most objective financial plan. You can count on Ringler advisors to create a customized plan that meets the financial needs of you and your family for the future. Visit ringlerassociates.com to learn more.
Well, welcome back to Ringler Radio. I'm your host, Larry Cohen, along with Ringler's president and CEO, Geoff Hunt, and our special guest, Michelle Caine, the newly installed president of the National Structured Settlement Trade Association.
So, Michelle, congratulations again on being installed as the president of our trade association. I think it was a number of years ago when we had our first president, that was a woman, Kyle Hording, and she was a consultant. Any thoughts about enticing more women to join our profession and the women that are in our profession taking on leadership roles? What's your thoughts on that front?
So it's been 21 years, Geoff, since Kyle served as the first female president of NSSTA. And the structured settlement industry traditionally has been a male-dominated industry. Fortunately, like many industries, over the last 20 years, we have seen more women enter our profession and assume roles that were traditionally held by men. Today, we have many more women that are structured settlement consultants and women running life company structured settlement programs. The shift is also seen in the leadership of our association with the number of women on the board. We now have 4. And we also have at least one woman serving as co-chair on almost all of our committees. So I'm confident that we're going to see this trend continue.
I do think that we do see a trend, but we do have to accelerate it. We have to be reflective of how the property and casualty management looks, life company looks, our clients, plaintiff and defense attorneys. Those firms are being more and more where it's equal number of women and men in leadership positions. For ourselves at Ringler, we're excited that we've had for a number of years a women's leadership forum, which has about 50 members, where they work to help bring along some of the younger women in our profession and in our firm, as well as just mentor and just life issues as well. So some ideas along those lines may be helpful as well.
I think that the Women's Leadership Forum that you have at your company is a great thing, and we are actually hoping to be able to do something similar to that with NSSTA as well.
Terrific.
That is a good thing. And anytime we can make progress like that, we all benefit. Well, Michelle, life insurance companies like Prudential Financial, where you are, have been a big part of the NSSTA organization and play a vital role in the structured settlement process, and have for years, of course. But from your new vantage point as president of NSSTA, what role do you see the life companies playing in the continuing evolution of our industry?
Sure. Structured settlements are a core product for most of the life insurance companies that are in this business, and they're all extremely supportive of our industry. We actually had a new company that entered our market space about a year ago, and several new companies have been adding new benefits and are looking at some new products. For example, non-qualified structured settlements for the non-physical injury market. This support by the life industry, coupled with a new outlook by our consultants, is all directed at meeting the increasingly complex needs of our claimants.
No question about that. And, needs are becoming more complex, but I'm happy to say that the life industry and the structured settlement consultants are all working together to make sure that happens. And we appreciate the support we get from the life companies themselves. So with that, Michelle, if someone wanted to talk to you or get a hold of you, how would they do that?
They can reach me at my company Prudential at michelle.caine@prudential.com.
Terrific. And Geoff, if someone wanted to contact you, how would they do that?
They could reach me at ghunt@ringlerassociates.com.
Terrific. And, of course, you can reach any Ringler Associate by going to ringlerassociates.com. It's a terrific website. It's got a lot of great information. I encourage you to do that. And, of course, you can find all the Ringler Radio shows on ringlerassociates.com, ringlerradio.com, legaltalknetwork.com, or on iTunes, where you can download every show and put your ear pods on and listen to them at your leisure, and listen to Michelle and Geoff and I talk about NSSTA.
And Michelle, I'd just like to say it is a big task. Everybody in the industry is so thankful to you for taking on the president role, and we're thankful for all of our life companies that provide us with such terrific products from stable and well-rated companies.
Terrific. So, Michelle, thank you very much for being our special guest today.
Thank you, Larry, for having me on the podcast and for continuing to help raise the awareness of structured settlement.
Terrific. And Geoff, thanks for being a great co-host.
Always my pleasure, Larry.
Terrific. And for all the rest of you out there, go have a great day. Bye-bye.
The views expressed by the participants of this program are their own and do not represent the views of, nor are they endorsed by, Legal Talk Network, its officers, directors, employees, agents, representatives, shareholders, and subsidiaries. None of the content should be considered legal advice. As always, consult a lawyer. Thanks for listening to Ringler Radio, celebrating more than a decade of podcasting and over 2 million listeners. Think of Ringler, the objective settlement advisors with more than 140 consultants in 60 cities nationwide. Visit ringlerassociates.com today.